All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What do you got last for us on the low tonight, Mia?
Well, China vows retaliation after the U.S. blacklists several companies, and China said it will take necessary measures to respond to the U.S. blacklisting over their alleged role in abuses of the Uyghur people and other Muslim ethnic minorities.
Commerce Ministry said the U.S. move constituted an unreasonable suppression of Chinese enterprises and a serious breach of international economic and trade rules. Again, China will take necessary measures to firmly safeguard Chinese companies' legitimate rights and interests, the ministry statement said. No details were given, but China has denied allegations of arbitrary detention and forced labor in the far west region of Xinjiang, I think it is, and increasingly responded to sanctions against companies and officials with its own ban on visas and financial links. The U.S. Commerce Department said in a statement Friday that the electronics and technology firms and other businesses helped enable Beijing's campaign of repression, mass detention, high technology surveillance against Muslim minorities in Xinjiang. The penalties prohibit Americans from selling equipment and other goods to the firms. The United States has stepped up financial and trade penalties over China's treatments of Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities, along with its crackdown on democracy in the semi-autonomous city of Hong Kong. Yeah, there's been some serious protests going over this, and this is pretty typical for China. They flexed on the NBA, they flexed on other companies, they flexed on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all kinds of control mechanisms. If you don't do what they say and you don't speak ill of Taiwan and call it a Republic of China. So this is pretty typical for them.
Yeah, this next part here is particularly concerning, though. The Chinese government since 2017 has detained 1 million or more people, and critics accuse China of operating forced labor camps and carrying out torture and coerced sterilization as it allegedly seeks to assimilate Muslim ethnic minority groups. That is some very serious concerns. U.S. Commerce Department said 14 companies were added to its entity list over their dealings and another 5 for aiding China's armed forces. It's not a joke or anything like that. It's, we don't pay enough attention at all to what's going on in other places. And I don't even know how true any of it is. That's the thing. It says they're accused of. What's the evidence? I don't know. I need to look into this more.
I've seen some evidence of spy satellites getting things from these so-called accused, concentration camps and labor camps and forced coercions, to assimilate and sterilization is because they have people that have left China and ran to Taiwan or whatever and have, kind of let the cat out of the bag. But this is typical of China today. But this was also typical of the United States 150 years ago. Let's be real. 200 years ago, 300 years ago. We did the same thing to the Native Americans. So,
not just the Native Americans.
Well, just specifically, I'll say that because it is forced assimilation, right? So the forced assimilation of Native Americans specifically. Like, here we go saying tisk tisk to China. But yet we did it to the Native Americans and the African slave trade. We forced assimilation, took the names, took the heritage, took the religion, took their independence, and the whole thing. So for us to be critical of China right now is kind of funny. We won't even make right with reparations with Native Americans and African Americans, ascendants of the slavery, right? So I kind of take this with a little bit of a scoff because we want to point out everybody else's problems and sanction them, but yet we won't even fix our own problems to fix our own injustices here in this country for the exact same things we claim China's doing.
And that's all a problem of an unresponsive government more than the people, again, though.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing going on over in China. The people, again, it's also important to separate the population from its government.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, the people living in Israel are not the same as the Israeli government. It's highly right-wing. There are left-wing people struggling for the rights of others as well. You know, there's this tendency to paint countries with the brush of their government, not really think about that the population does not, and often does not, agree with their leadership.
So I would just say to everyone out there that watches this, be critical of China, but also be equally critical of our own country for not righting the wrongs that we've done, that we're pointing our finger at China for right now, for the treatment of the Muslim minorities, for the treatment of the minority party of people anywhere, force them to assimilate, forced sterilizations, which we've done at the fucking border. We've done that in the last 5 years. We've forced sterilizations at our own border. So let's be 100% clear and let's be honest. Let's be consistent. We're still doing some of this shit they're claiming. And we always have.
Messed up too.
We've always have.
We should all be.
I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
They're trying to force sterilization for people that had more than 2 kids on welfare. You know, they've always thrown these ideas out there. So I don't know, man. Just be careful how critical you are of another country, which is still, let's be honest, I'm critical of what China, but I'm trying to be equally critical of our own country for practicing what it doesn't not practicing what it preaches. So we have to be consistent as citizens as well. Be aware that we're just as fucked up as China, just in a different way in a different time.
The laws on that shit are so weird. A little side commentary. I'm trying to get sterilized, and they made me wait 4 weeks before I could sign a consent form. Not like I came in thinking I was like going to sign the consent form and prepare for that in like a few weeks. And I'm not even allowed to like say, yes, I'm okay with this until 4 weeks after.
Wait a minute.
There's
a 4-week waiting period before they let you do it?
Before they let me consent to doing it.
Right. But there's not a wait list for a gun.
And the guy said, use forced sterilizations as the excuse why I have to wait 4 weeks. Like he said, down in Cuba, they were forced sterilizations and all that sort of thing. What is 4 weeks going to do to stop somebody who's being influenced? That there's no other intervention involved. Therefore, this is just like security theater. Right.
And not just that is what's most likely to happen? You get pregnant. They want to force people to have babies, specifically white babies. Let's be real. They want more white children being born without your own consent. And that's kind of how I see it, man. These abortion clinics are in minority areas, not in the suburbs. But yeah, so that's what we're up against, right? We're calling a spade without calling our own spade a spade. Like, we have to be consistent and honest. And guys, you will not hear this conversation on mainstream media. Let me tell you. You might hear it on the Kyle Kalinske show. You might hear it on Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar. And here, that's it. Jimmy Dore might push back on this type of stuff too. He's pretty out there too. I like it. Yeah, definitely. DJ Elf. Yeah, fuck them, right? But that's the thing, guys. I'm critical of things, but we have to remember to be critical of ourselves, man. Be honest. Our government has yet to give reparations for slavery. You know, we have yet to give true reparations for Native Americans, and for all the Asian Americans that were disposed of during the railroads and stuff like that, just used and abused and threw in a massive ditch to connect our railroads coast to coast.
The Japanese
assimilation in that country. What's that?
The Japanese internment camps?
Yes. Oh, fuck. Yeah, man. That's a very good point. We have done some fucking serious atrocities here, man. But again, you won't hear the mainstream media being critical of our own government because it's bought and paid for. It's just the way it is. And how do we change it? Stop giving them your fucking eyeballs. Stop clicking on their links. Stop following them on social media. Stop engaging with their content. Go check out the Kyle Kalinske. Go check out other independent media sources. Like I said, Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar. Jimmy Dore. I've kind of left the TYT realm altogether. They're pretty fucked up over there right now. They got some problems. And of course, the Trickle Up, we're trying to be as broad as we can and be honest and consistent as we can be. I know we all have our biases, but we have to be honest, you know. And like I said, I brought a talking point that supports Medicare for all, single payer, even though I don't agree with it. It's a good talking point that's justified to me, even if I don't agree with it. I think it should be said, you know. So that's what we're trying to bring here, guys, is more balanced approaches and recognize that we don't all have to agree to even get along and move forward either. You know, there's my little soapbox.
My biggest goal, my biggest hope is that we help push ideas that no matter which side they're from, alleviate suffering. That's the most important thing. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like, the government's supposed to govern, i.e., help the population thrive.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't thriving right now. That needs to be fixed.
No, about 10% of us are. That's about it. Yep. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think about in the comments section. How do you see this thing playing out? What is your fears? Like, what could China do that would hurt us economically? What could China do to hurt us? I guess it's only economically really hurt us. But that does have ramifications, economics, you know. So we've seen that during COVID. When the stock market takes a shit, we all suffer because it represents the rich people's feelings, really. So let us know what you, yeah, exactly. So let us know what you guys think about that in the comment section. While you're here, of course, give the video a like, leave us a comment on what you think about this, and share and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. And next time, as like always, go read a book. Ah!